And now, your East Texas Storm Team forecast.
Welcome back to East Texas Live. Carson Vickroy is here at the desk, but it's only for a short moment because he's got to rush back to the Weather Center because there's severe storms.
Yeah, all interest in Ben Wheeler pointing off to the east along Highway 64, and this will be moving into northern Smith County. Now, the most intense part of the storm should miss at least the southern 2/3 of Tyler. So from about downtown down to the south, you're not going to see, initially that intense of storms. You'll still see rain, but not with what we're dealing with in Van Zant and parts of Henderson County at the present time. We do have more storms that are starting to form near the Hawkins vicinity as well, but let's get you right to this severe thunderstorm, which is catching a few eyes at this hour. So there you go. Ben Wheeler, lots of lightning, even some pocket change hail being detected with that pink right there. Let me go ahead and analyze this storm. Let's bring out the severe weather threats. Our weather software is very good at detecting some of these severe weather threats, and there you go, right in the heart of Ben Wheeler. That is where we are seeing anywhere from ½ inch to maybe up to inch hail. There's a ½ inch query right there just to the east. So if you're to the west of Tyler Pounds Airport right now, I would seek shelter from this storm. This is not something you want to mess around in. If you're about to take your car, drive to Tyler along Highway 64, I would delay that trip because this is an intense thunderstorm and it is something that will be worth monitoring here over the next couple of minutes. Now, one thing to note about this storm, while the immediate threat will be for some 60-mile-per-hour winds and some pocket change hail, there has been some broad rotation noted in the storm. So let's check that out. This is our storm relative velocity, and there it is between Ben Wheeler and Primrose. That is where we're seeing the greens and the reds come together. Greens are going towards the Shreveport radar site, and the reds are going away from the Shreveport radar site. So the area of primary concern is right here. That is along State Highway 64, probably just to the north of the highway now, along a bunch of county roads there. But if you live in Primrose, any of those roads, and then along Midway, literally the middle city there between Canton and Tyler along Highway 64. A lot of lightning within that noted rotation there, so that is something we will have to keep an eye on. Now let's put a storm track on this. This is moving off to the east. Let's get you back to the reflectivity, and we will put a quick storm track on it just to show you which areas are impacted. I have interest in Lindale and just to the northwest of Tyler. That is the area that's probably going to be affected, and then eventually this storm will start to move into Hawkins and places along the Sabine River, including the community of Big Sandy in southwestern Upshur County. But let's go ahead and put that on a storm track. This is fresh, so these times will be very, very accurate. Fresh radar scan there. And I would say Hideaway, your arrival time will be about 12:04. Lindale, 12:09 for this intense storm. Winona, 12:27. Hawkins, 12:28. Big Sandy at 12:35. Now the cone of uncertainty could take it over North Tyler. I do think you'll see some showers and thunderstorms in Tyler within the next 30 minutes. It's just not going to be the most intense part of the storm. So definitely something we're keeping an eye on. You're probably seeing some heavy rain in Van, and you're about to see it in Lindale. Now let's go ahead and give you a wider picture and talk about what's going on from a temperature standpoint, because these temperatures have a lot to do with the instability in the energy we have in the atmosphere for these storms to form. And it's quite impressive. If you look at these lightning strikes here, 372 over the last 30 minutes to an hour that this radar has been scanning, so definitely impressive. But temperature wise, we are in the 70s. We're around 80 degrees for Henderson. We're at 79 in Nacogdoches now, 82 in Lufkin. A lot of moisture for these storms to work with, so we are far from done with this event. This will be probably an entire afternoon type of deal for us. Front's going to trigger more storms. And on FUTURECAST, you can see these storms just developing. I do think FUTURECAST is probably behind by an hour or two now. This is 1 o'clock. You can notice those storms moving through our central counties. 2 o'clock, they move further to the southeast. 3, 4 o'clock, still dealing with the storms, now moving through places like Henderson and Marshall. This is specifically for 4 o'clock. And then as we move into 5, 6 o'clock, these storms will start to move further to the southeast. Ultimately, I do think the severe weather chances, or at least the most intense part of the event will be over by 7, but definitely by the middle part of the night. We'll have a look at your extended forecast and additional updates here in just a few minutes, but for the latest news and weather information, you can always find that on our website. That would be KETK.com.